Hey there, everybody out in YouTube land. Just thought I would update everybody on how today went. It was just an average day at my job and in my life. I'm trying to think of what to tell you, as in what's important and what's not. I didn't get to talk very much with the fiance because we were both at work and we don't text very much when we're at work. We try to focus on work. The other person that helps me run the store left early for a doctor's appointment, so I was by myself for part of the day. My manager's manager is back from the trip he took. He thought I couldn't hear him. He didn't realize that I was working at a computer very close to where his office is. The way our building is set up, there's his office in the very corner, and then the store manager, my boss, is in the office directly next to him. You can get in from the manager's manager office from outside, or my manager's office. Those are the two doors. It's where I took the video the other day, so the door I was looking at in the video is where my manager's office is. And his office opens up to the registers, and it opens up into the break room. So, not a great setup, but anyway, I don't have an office area, yet I have a lot of paperwork type stuff to do. So when my manager left early for the day, he pretty much has the standard rule of I can use his desk and his computer if I need to get things done. It's not password protected or anything, and I know what files are in there because it's just a work computer. So I get to sit at his desk in the manager's office and do my paperwork. The manager's manager didn't know that I was in the next room over. His office door was open, and he was speaking to another branch manager on the phone. It's actually my fiance's sister. We won't get into that right now. They were chit-chatting about an email he's going to send out company-wide. And that email is about taking lunches in a timely manner. Apparently, this is going out so that everyone understands in a language that I would understand. He specifically used my name and specifically mentioned that I don't take lunches like I should to this other store manager. She's within our district in the company, so if I transferred to her store, she would be over me, or if she transferred into our store, she would be over me. And we've worked together on projects. She's come into town to work with our store before. She's wonderful. She's going to be my future sister-in-law, so I love her. But he's sitting there gossiping to her about, I don't take my lunches the proper way. I was I don't understand what you mean by the proper way. I know that there are, OSHA standards in place where if I work 6 hours, I'm entitled to a 30-minute lunch break and 2 15-minute breaks if I need them. They're supposed to be paid breaks, so you can pull me off of them, but I am entitled to them. So if I need to sit down, I can go sit down. If I need to take a lunch, I can go take a lunch. Now, there's probably a 6 to 8 week period in the late summertime when we get ridiculously busy. Everybody works 10-hour days. It's back to school season, and we sell private school uniforms. It's just our busy time. So during those times, there were days where I didn't clock out for lunch. We were so busy, and I was one of the few people who could supervise the register area where money happens and orders happen and things like that, that I would just sneak to the kitchen for 5 or 10 minutes at a time and eat my lunch that way. And I would work a full 10-hour day just eating my lunch at my convenience. And it's not that was an issue for me. I didn't mind it. I knew that there was a light at the end of the tunnel for the really long days. But apparently, like, nobody ever came to me and talked to me about it. They were all very grateful that I was willing to, like, supervise the area so they could focus on other aspects, because we were so busy. There were probably 4 different things that needed supervisors, and we only had 2, so there was really an opportunity for me and my coworker to step up and be the person that the seasonal employees needed us to be. So we stepped up and we did our thing. And then today he's making this phone call and talking about how to word this email about, I don't take breaks like I'm supposed to take breaks. Nobody ever relieved me so I could take a break. And there were a handful of times I did clock out for lunch. And I did take time to go sit down in the break room, and as soon as I'd sit down and start to eat, somebody would call me on the walkie-talkie and start asking me questions. And I'm like, okay, trying to answer through mouthful of food, and like, would take a bite, and somebody would ask a question, and I would answer that one. And there were even times where I got called out of my lunch to go fix a problem on the register. And I just decided it's not worth it. I'll just get paid for this half hour because I'm working during this half hour. And if there's an issue with that, maybe the management should plan accordingly to make sure that everybody gets their due lunch, instead of calling me to the register every 30 seconds to ask me a question. So our big rush is over, basically, and now we're back to everybody gets half hour. They're even lenient if you wanted to take a full hour and like go meet somebody for lunch, you can do that. It's coming out of your paycheck, but you can do that. Like, nobody gets mad. We're pretty dead during the day. We get like 3 or 4 customers tops, and they're usually just, this shirt doesn't fit, let me exchange it, and you take care of it. It's not a big deal. So this is the time of year we reorganize everything after the rush. We count for inventory, and after inventory's done, you rearrange the store to try to anticipate any new accounts you might get, to anticipate any new stock you might have, to make sure everything fits in a way that people can shop easily. And if you have to really rearrange something, that's the time to do it, when you're dead. Anytime after Thanksgiving up until April or May, when you start to get stuff in for the next school year, you're golden. That's when you rearrange your store. After your school rush, that's when you do inventory, and then you have your school rush. And like, I understood that after back to school was done, I would have to take my breaks again. And that's what I did before back to school happened. So I don't understand why during the 6, 7, 8 week period that we were extremely busy, and I, as a part-timer, was getting 50 hours a week. I didn't understand why everybody assumed I would be continuing to work those kinds of hours when I clearly wasn't going to be. And I don't know, like, he walked through the break room today while I was eating on my clocked out break. But apparently I'm a moron and don't know how to clock out. It hit a nerve that, one, he didn't check to see if anybody could hear him, because his office door is wide open and he's just yammering on the phone to this person who doesn't even work with our store. And 2, that he name-dropped me as a bad employee when I'm not a fucking bad employee. I'm just somebody who was dedicated when they needed me to be dedicated, and now that time has passed and I've been out with my leg injury, I'm back and they think that I don't know how things work. I didn't think I was a bad employee to begin with, but apparently he's not a big fan of me, and sister-in-law has warned me about that. She has told me he's not a fan of me. My big thing is, I think it's because I'm not a yes man. If I disagree with something you say, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be polite about it. There's going to be a sense of diplomacy there. but there were things he would suggest when it came to like getting ready for back to school, and I would be like, I don't think that'll work. I know it's my first year, but A sounds better than B, and you're suggesting B. So if I had to pick what we were going to do, I would pick A. But it's your call in the end, so I'll do the way you pick. And he was like, I hear you. A is appealing, but we're going to do B. And he would never give me a reason why. He would just pick his way, and we would do it that way. And it would be screwed up. So the manager who had been with the company longer, who's technically under him, would come to me and be like, why did you do it like this? I would tell her I was told to do it that way, and then I would mention I suggested we do it this way instead of that way. And she'd be like, yeah, your way is better. That's the one we typically do. So I'm sorry, but you have to undo what you did with option B and redo it with option A. I was fine with that. I dealt with that all summer while we were getting the store ready. And now we're back to him not liking me and him thinking I'm this dumb person who doesn't understand how things work. I've worked retail longer than he's had a job ever. I don't know. So this guy really struck a nerve with me today at work, and that's really the big thing that happened. The rest of the day was just normal stuff. I moved hangers around, I stocked things, I folded shirts, like I just did a normal day's work. And I found sitting activities when I needed to find sitting activities. I stayed busy, and it was a fine day. Until he said that, and that was in the last hour of work, so it's still pretty fresh. I still have my shitty dollar store makeup on that I'm just now noticing is coming off. So I mean, it did a fairly good job for Dollar Tree makeup, but I could not find my normal stuff today, and this is just what I had in the bathroom at the time. Yeah, it's coming the fuck off. So I will be removing my makeup, fixing myself a drink, and going to play trains with my son. Possibly make some dinner. I was told it's my turn to make dinner, even though it's not my turn to make dinner. I don't know if anybody else out there has a big family, but my big family, nobody likes to actually cook by the time it's time to cook. So I suggest things like crock pots, where we can get it started before everybody leaves for the day, and then by the time we get home, we can just dive in, and that gets vetoed. It's not even like it would be alone all day. My dad stays at home all day because he is on disability. So, I mean, it's not even like there would be this unsupervised heat source in the house. So nobody wants to do crock-pot dinners, and nobody wants to actually cook, which leaves us with fast food half the time, and the other half the time it leaves us with really shittily thrown together meals like Easy Mac and spaghetti, which is, it's two kinds of pasta. It's not a meal. We'll see. I might make dinner, I might not. I might just drink my dinner and then go fuck to bed. Alright, that's what happened with my day. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your views. Any comments, questions you have for me, leave them down below, even if it's just to make fun of my Dollar Tree makeup. I'm sorry about all the extra noise, by the way. Those are the fans in my room because we're in a second-story apartment and it's like 400 degrees. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see. And I will talk to you next time. Bye!